What is up, guys, and welcome back to the Classic Car Showcase, a series which we haven't really done for quite a while. Of course, we're having this big comeback on YouTube for my channel, but we haven't really done the Classic Car Showcase since really F1 2017 came out. So here we are, restarting it once again, this time with the 1995 Ferrari 412 T2. Now, this car drove around in the 1995 season. It wasn't really anything that special. I mean, it only won once out of the 17 races it took part in, got 1 pole position and 11 podiums with 3 fastest laps, and in the end finishing 3rd in the constructors standings. But the main significant thing about this car, and probably the main reason why it is actually in this game, is because it was actually the last ever V12 powered Formula 1 car. So I'm guessing that's the main reason why this car was in this game. If there are any other reasons, don't forget to leave it down in the comment section below. But this car was actually driven by John Alesi and Gerhard Berger in the 1995 season. The last season for both those two drivers racing for Ferrari before they moved to Benetton in the 1996 season. But here we are, as usual, doing the onboard with this 1995 Ferrari through the Silverstone circuit. Of course, Silverstone is the circuit that we've been doing the tests for with these cars for the whole entire of this series. Of course, we've done it with the likes of Williams and the McLarens that we've done so far in this series. Up next, of course, is going to be the 1996 Williams. So we'll be looking forward to see exactly whereabouts that will position. But for now, let's focus more on this 1995 Ferrari. It's a good car. It's very sort of, it's not as loud, I don't think, as the other cars. With it being a V12, you expected it to be a lot more noise in your ear, but unfortunately that just wasn't the case. It wasn't exactly that fast around this circuit compared to the other cars as well. Unfortunately, I was expecting quite a lot of stuff from this car, but to be fair, it felt a lot slower out on track than it actually was. In terms of lap time. The lap time wasn't actually too bad from the Ferrari car, but in terms of driving it, you just couldn't really push the car to the limits. I didn't feel, or maybe I was just not quite as good as driving this car as somebody else would be. But here we are, the one-shot lap time. Now, this will determine whereabouts it ranks amongst the two McLarens, that we've done so far, the 1991 McLaren and the 1988 McLaren, and also with the 1992 Williams as well. To go down in towards turn 1 and turn 2, now towards the loop section of turn 3, 4 and 5. Nice tidy, a little bit of a lock up there on the run down in towards turn 3, now in towards turn 4 and into turn 5, through the loop and then onto the Wellington straight in this Ferrari. Now a long back straight. Of course, DRS was not with these cars, so we will not be opening that rear flap all the way down in towards this section of corners, in towards Brooklands now, and then Luffield. Nice and tidy. Okay, maybe missing the apex a little bit on the right-hand side, but not too bad at the end of the day. But hugging that apex on the right-hand side through Luffield and using all the track available to us on the exit. And as we go through Woodcote now, along the old start, finish straight down in towards Cobb's Corner. The lap at the moment looking quite slow. I've got to admit, it looks very, very slow watching it off board compared to some of the other cars, but nice and tidy there through Cobb's Corner as we enter this very, very tricky section of corners through Maggots and then in towards Beckett and Chapel. But so far, it's looking very nice indeed from this Ferrari. It's very smooth. That's what I did like about this car. It was very easy to be very, very smooth, but that's why it felt slow, of course. If you feel like you're going too fast because you're fighting the car quite slow, it's not exactly the nicest of rides, but this car was actually very, very comfortable to drive around the circuit. We go in towards Stowe now and coming towards the final section of corners, which are Club and Vale. Through the left, and then you want to just accelerate all the way through these corners. You don't want to lift off the throttle at all through the final corner and down across the line. And that ends the lap here today for the Ferrari 412 T2. So a very, very nice lap there. Whereabouts will that put us in terms of the other cars? Well, you can see there that you can see all the other lap times. The Williams, the McLaren. The Williams, of course, beating both of the McLarens at the moment, with the 1988 McLaren being the slowest so far. I think it's going to be probably between the 92 Williams and the McLaren. That's where it felt like, to be honest, in terms of lap time. But I can tell you that the Ferrari 412 T2 did it in a 1:43.8 1.70. That slots it very nicely where I predicted, in between the Williams and the two McLarens. And that at the moment holds our number 2 spot in terms of lap times. And it's now all up to the 1996 Williams to see whereabouts that car will go, whether it can beat its fellow Williams car, the 1992 Williams, and see whereabouts it will fit in terms of the top 2. And maybe it's not even that quick and it might actually be down there with the McLarens. We're just going to have to wait and see for that. But it wouldn't be a classic car showcase without a race of 20 Ferraris here now at the Brazilian Grand Prix. It's lights out and away we go for today's race. Starting right at the back, doing a last question mark challenge in this Ferrari. Now let's see what we can do up the inside of all these cars. Very, very tight down in towards turn 1. Up the inside there of another Ferrari. So close between all of us, getting squeezed out through turn 3, but now going for the overtake once again and trying to move up into P16, which we've done there, getting past that driver and now moving up into P16. Now seeing what we can do against the others, diving at the inside and now moving for a position of P15 here in today's race. Good overtake there on the Ferrari, and now seeing what we can do. Not yet into the points at the moment, as we're right behind this car, round the outside of this corner. This will be an incredible move if we can pull it off, which we can. Now up the inside to go for P13. Can we get the job done? It's side by side between the two of us. He holds up the inside and unfortunately just not able to go for that overtake and just having to settle for P13 right now. But we're going to dive it up the inside once again in towards this right-hander under the braking. A little bit of a lock up there, but we get the job done and we move up into P13. But a big lock through there, full lock through that corner. Very, very well done to fight the car through that corner. Nearly completely lost it. It was full lock to the right, but somehow managing to keep it on the black stuff and holding on to this position. Now we're going to hunt down the points. We're hunting down that top 10, top 11 position, but we need to do it quickly if we want any chance of getting into the points here today. Of course, overtaking is very, very difficult at this stage of the race because all these cars are exactly the same. So it all comes down to driver ability and how good I am driving around in these Ferraris 412 T2. I think that's how you say it, or is it 412 T2? You have to let me know down in the comment section below. But in towards turn 4 now, nice and tidy at the moment, just gaining ever so gradually on the cars ahead, just waiting for those guys to make a mistake. I really do like the sort of ringing when you can hear the car sort of in the distance with these V12 engines. That's a very, very nice detail that they've included in this game. But right on the tail now of this guy currently running in P11. Our nose isn't too far away from him, but we're just waiting for the little insight, maybe up the inside into the next couple of corners, just waiting to do something very, very soon. Right on the tail, now having a look around the outside once again into this next corner. Can we get the job done? Not quite through there. And this time, not actually losing the back of the car, but there we go, diving up the inside, moving up into P11 now. Or is that, no, that's only P12, so we're still not yet into the top 10. On the back of the guy currently in 11th place in today's race, all the way down this long back straight. Looking at the rear of the car now, quite nice amount of aerodynamic work on the rear of the car with those little flaps just covering over the wheels. That's a very, very nice detail on the 1995 Ferrari, but that's not exactly what we want to watch right now. We want to see how close we are to the guy ahead. Okay, there is a little bit of a gap at the moment, and we'll be looking to close him up within the next couple of corners and hopefully start to move up into the points. There's a couple of drivers having a bit of a battle up ahead of us, so maybe we can get involved with that. If those guys are battling, that could allow them to sort of slow down, put us right on the tail, which is exactly which it has done. Here we go now in towards the next couple of corners. Can we try up the inside, which we do, up into P11, maybe now round the outside for P10. Not quite able to do that, but might dive it up the inside for P10 now, up the inside into this hairpin. And is that job done on him? Is it job done? Yes, it is. There we go, up into 10th position now for the Brazilian Grand Prix, and gaining on this driver ahead of us. We are up into the points. A little bit of a lock up there, leaving the door wide open, but taking sort of a late apex through that corner as we go through this long left-hander now. We're sort of losing the back end a little bit as we run wide, just on the edge of the points now. Can we do anything? Of course, this is going to be the final lap now. So can we get the job done? The final run down towards the line. Can we move up a position in today's race? And the Brazilian Grand Prix is going to be very close for P9, but we've just about missed out there. P10 at the end of the day is still a fantastic result from 20th position, but very, very close to get 9th position at the end of this Brazilian Grand Prix, and now doing a lot of donuts in celebration. But that's it for today's classic car showcase. If you have enjoyed the episode, don't forget to smash a like on the video. Also, subscribe to the channel for more Formula 1 content. Rags to Reach is free. F1 2017 career mode. More of this classic car showcase and a whole load of other Formula 1 content for you guys as well. But I will see you next time for another F1 related video. But until then, it's goodbye from me.